Camila Cabello. Welcome
Yes!
to Call Her Daddy.
Yes! I'm so excited.
I am so happy you're here. To anyone in the Daddy Gang that is listening to this and not watching.
The Daddy Gang.
The Daddy Gang. Do you want to say hi?
Oh my God, yes. Hello, Daddy Gang. I love the community aspect of it.
Would you consider your sister Daddy Gang?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, that makes
my
me feel
sister
cozy.
is Daddy Gang for sure.
I love how, can I say, your mom walked in here and she was like, don't worry, I'm not going to be listening.
I know, because I could just intuit, like I could read your energy that you were like, oh, her mom is here.
I'm like, what
that
do I
limits
have
the
in here that's
questions. Yeah.
sexual? I'm like, just close your ears and pretend this isn't happening. To anyone that's listening, Camila walked in here and she has platinum blonde hair.
I know.
How did you decide to do this?
You know, I felt like I needed a big physical change because I feel like, I don't know, my dark hair has been with me for all of my life. I feel like it was just like a big part of how the public saw me, the world saw me, how I saw myself. And I feel like it's just been a year of like, the theme has very much been like play and transformation and changing and being brave. But I feel like also the music is so different, like the world is so different that I don't know, for so many reasons, I was like, I feel like a physical change needs to like accompany that.
Yeah.
And then I tried on a few different wigs.
I was going to ask, because I was talking to someone like, would I ever change my hair color? I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I would, but I would do wigs before you just go for it.
I definitely think you need to do wigs because it's such a big change. But I do feel like everybody should do it. I mean, not everybody should do it, but it's like a fun, like, I don't know, it brings out a different part of your personality. And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a YOLO, like, I don't know, just like,
fuck it.
Is it okay if I
please?
Should I take a sip?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. We're drinking wine.
Okay,
everybody.
I need a little bit of wine because we were talking about, I don't really do stuff like this. So I definitely was like a little nervous, but I'm really excited for like my fans. I feel like they like haven't seen me be a person in a while.
Okay, wait, cheers.
Cheers.
I'm going to look over and Camila's going to be chugging the entire thing. Like, yeah, what? Wait, slow down. No.
Yeah, it's 1 p.m.
Yes. For context, it's 1 in the afternoon and the sun is out and we're drinking wine.
But
so
honestly, I haven't drank in a second. I've been working so much. I feel like I kind of deserve. You have had a really busy schedule too. You told me yesterday.
I was doing meetings with foils in my head.
No,
like, what are we doing?
We deserve this.
That's what I get excited about for these type of interviews, that you haven't done something like this in a while.
No, and years, I feel like.
And I think it's important though to sometimes like step back. Like, why do you think you haven't done something in a while?
I think it was just, I needed to kind of protect myself from, I actually wouldn't even say protect myself. I think I needed to just be a human being. I needed to be a person. I needed to kind of step away from being a public persona and just work on myself from the inside out as opposed to like the outside in. I mean, I've been in the public eye since I was 15 years old. So I feel like so much of, especially the first maybe 7 or 8 years, I was like kind of figuring myself out at the same time as like trying to process and take in what other people thought. Even if I'm not necessarily reading it directly, you just kind of subconsciously are trying to figure out what to do with all of that. So I don't know. I think I needed some time and some space to be like, who am I? What's important to me? What are my values in that sense, but also like, what are my hobbies? What do I like to do? What's my taste in art? What kind of people do I like hang out with? What kind of people do I not like hang out with? And I feel like that's kind of the journey I've been on for the past few years. And it's been really nice and healthy for me. I feel like I really kind of needed to do that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you growing up for a second. Okay.
You're like, cheers.
Cheers again.
My
Cheers
God,
again.
to exploring childhood.
We're going to go through all the eras.
Yeah, the origin myth.
Okay, born in Cuba.
Yeah.
You moved to Miami when you're like 7.
Yeah, it's so funny because I always say 6 or 7. My mom is like, you have to like pick an age.
Right, like which was it?
Yeah, I'm like,
I
moved when I was 6 or 7. And when I was 6 or 7, it's like, I always say that.
So 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Camila moves to Miami. Can you tell me, like, how did your parents explain to you that you were moving?
My mom told me we were going to Disney World.
Oh.
As immigrant parents do. They lie to protect us. I love my mom so much. She's not watching, so I don't have to worry about hurting her feelings on that one.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom. But yeah, she told me we were going to Disney World, and I was really excited until maybe a couple months passed, and I was like, wait a second. I'm still here and there's no Disney World. And yeah, it's funny. Like I really empathize with that, you know, that age, that version of me, because I can imagine that it's probably informed some parts of my personality in the sense that like one day I had like all my cousins and all my family around, and the next day, not to like whatever, like a pity sob story or whatever, but you know, one day they were there, and then the next day I was kind of like, oh, where is everybody? I actually had this song that I wrote that didn't end up making it into the album, but like so many empty chairs for like Christmas dinner or whatever. It was like some like lyric like that, but I think that's such a like visceral image that I can remember. It's like a lot of noise, and then it was like just me and my mom.
Why did you guys move?
I think it was just the situation in Cuba was getting more and more difficult, like lack of there was just like such a ceiling, like as far as like, you know, my mom was an architect, and even if you had a good job, there was just like there was like not a lot of resources, like even like food, medicine, education. Like I don't think a lot of people know like the situation there is like really it's pretty tough, especially right now. Like there's not a lot of food. I have family members that have come even like a month ago that are still coming, and you know, they see like the food that we have like in, you know, in the pantry, and they're like, we're just like not used to this. And I think that's like what's amazing too about Miami and the community there is like, I think because everybody has those common like start from nothing thing, like it really is like, hey, like if you don't have a job, like I've got this uncle, I got this cousin, like you come work for me. You don't know how to do this. Well, it's fine. I'll teach you, whatever. And everybody's just kind of like
helping each other
and also just like helping each other improvise. And we're constantly like trying to like bring our family over. So
I think even when you were saying the like 6 or 7 age, I think at that time,
the new age, 6 or 7.
Yeah, new age,
one word.
6 or 7.
I came when I was 6 or 7.
When you were 6 or 7, I'm thinking about you moving to having to go to a new school, moving to a new country, probably not completely speaking English.
Oh no, not at all.
At all. How did you
no
even, like,
speaky.
How did you make friends? Like, what was school like?
I really made friends. It's crazy to think about. Like in hindsight, I made my best friends through music always. I was always like, you know, my first friend that I made, her name was Giselle, and we lived in like an apartment complex. She lived in the same complex as me, and we bonded over like the Cheetah Girls. I wanted to be them so bad, and I loved like, you know, Cinderella, like that. It's actually crazy how much I am realizing a lot of these things came to be in
I was
my
gonna
life.
say you manifested this
yeah,
shit,
I know.
bitch.
I really
Okay.
manifested the shit out of like my fucking life.
Then you were Cinderella.
Yeah, I know. And I was in a girl group. But anyway, so like we would, you know, like I would bring the CD or whatever, and we would like just dance to it and pretend like we were in a girl group. And then like, you know, when I was in elementary school, it was like we would pretend to be on American Idol. Fuck, I manifested that shit too, I guess. I'm realizing. And then we were like, I made a like mini girl group with my friends, and we were called Lion Girls, Queens of the Jungle, because I love the Cheetah Girls. Shit. That's not a like musician flex.
It's a huge
You're like,
flex.
that's a really good name.
I'm like, God damn. What did
Yeah.
you sound like back then?
And I remember like this one friend that I had, like my best friend, we would like, I remember during the summers, we would be on the phone, and we would like just be singing on the phone. Like, oh my God, I did like this, that riff sounds so good. Like everything was honestly really tied to music.
So you knew from a young age that you like loved performing.
I wouldn't even say performing, because I was really, really shy. It was like really reserved for my friends. And I remember my friends even say now, they're like, remember when we used to be like, sing, because I don't know if that was a thing for when it was your age, but I feel like anybody who was like had like a good voice in school, it was like, it was kind of like sing.
And at the time it was like, it was in such like good faith that people were trying to, but meanwhile the person that is gonna have to sing feels like, fuck all of you, I don't want to sing. So if I was to ask any of the kids that went to your school that weren't your friends.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Camila at 15 years old is going to become a huge pop star, famous. What do you think they would have said?
There were people that were like, I didn't even know that like she sang.
Stop.
Because I went through different phases. Like I think there was with some people that I was really funny and class clowny and whatever. And then for most people, I was like really shy.
Okay, let's talk about X Factor. So
Yes.
I'm reading online and I'm like, wait, is this true? I'm like, you said that you went on X Factor first to just meet One Direction.
This is true. I mean,
Tell me the plan. Like, what was the plan going in there?
I mean, honestly, I was a huge, I don't know if I'm curious if you were too, but I was like, you know, like I was like such a big pop culture fan, like
Yes.
since I was young, and my friends and I really bonded over that. Like we didn't love fucking One Direction. We loved One Direction.
One Direction.
Yeah, we loved One Direction.
We wanted to fuck One Direction.
100%. I mean, at that age, we just I wanted to just kiss them, anything. But yeah, even if at an early age, I wasn't like, I want to be a singer, because I think it just wasn't even a thing that I thought of. Like, it was like, bitch, how? Like,
right.
You know, like
how will this be a career?
Yeah, like I don't have anybody that knows anybody. I'm like in Miami, like nobody fucking, the most that we had was, I don't know if you remember, like when that like person would come on the radio and be like, auditions for Nickelodeon.
Yes.
Do you want to be the next Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber? And all my friends and I would be like, yes!
And it's like, there's no way, bitch. Like, everyone sit down.
I know.
Just so you know, I was one of those girls too, be like, yes.
Did you audition?
No, I couldn't
All of my
sing.
friends and I auditioned, and they were like, you are amazing. You're only going to have to pay $15,000 to go to this acting school. And my mom was like, yeah,
Bye.
Yeah, scam. But that was like, in hindsight, it was always the center of my life was music and singing and writing and whatever. It was always like my obsession. And I think like One Direction or pop culture was like an extension of that in a different way, in a more probably hormonal, crushy way. But
relatable.
But I really was like, I need to audition to X Factor, and I need to do whatever it takes to make it to at least the point where I meet Harry. Really, all of them, but like
Harry.
But really Harry. So, yeah.
Poor everyone else. It was always Harry. Then like Zayn really popped off. And like I'd met him in person. Great guy. Like I was like, oh, okay. Like
no, and Niall's is so lovely
like,
too. He's like amazing. But it's just
Harry. It's Harry.
I was like, I really, he was an inspiring muse for me at 15.
When you talk about a guy when you're younger that you were obsessed with, like it's a
sickness.
It brings you back. Like I kind of had that with Justin Bieber, where you're like,
I was also obsessed with Justin Bieber.
And I'm like, I want to be the one less lonely girl. Like, shut up, Alex.
It's crazy
like,
how delusional you are at that age.
You believe.
No, you believe that you're meant to fall in love, that they don't know that you are the girl for them. Like, they don't know it. But once they do, there will be no stopping that train. It's crazy how delusional you are at that age.
Did you ever do this? Like, I remember I'd be at concerts and I'm like, if he just locks
eyes.
Oh,
no, me too. Me too. I'd be like, I remember like going to the concert being like, I have to look incredible. Because for some reason I thought me at 15 years old with like my like insanely terrible like side bang and like, you know, like that he would lock eye and then he would know for some reason. It's crazy. I still have some of that delusion left in me now.
I think it's good delusion though, right?
It's fun. It keeps things spicy.
It does. On your toes, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Just like wanting things you can't have.
No, delusion is a necessary ingredient, I think, to like my happiness. But I definitely had way more at 15. I definitely was like, once he sees me, he's dumping Kendall Jenner. Like, he will know.
He won't even know what hit him. When our eyes lock, it's like game over, baby. Wifey, okay?
And then I look pictures of myself at that age and I'm like, oh my God,
Sweetie.
like I look like such a baby. Like
it was never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen.
But you joined Fifth Harmony. And obviously you don't join One Direction, although you probably wanted to be like the one girl in the group.
But I joined what felt to me like at that time, like I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
This is happening to me now.